Nothing you do is private. They know everything. I'm going to tell you how and why coming up. This is beyond scary. Uber Eats pricing based on your personal data. Another story of somebody digging into crap they have no business looking at. And in this case, it affects how much you're paying for something. This is the weirdest story ever, but it's absolutely 100% true. Again, that's coming up. And asking babies if it's okay before you change their diapers. Yeah, uh, they've gone full nutso wacko at this point. Welcome to the Jay Sheldon Show. Oh, happy Wednesday, hump day, as we try and get over it and get into the slide into the weekend. Maryland, praise the Lord, be blessed, and hello, good morning to you. Watching there in Connecticut, wherever you may be in the USA or around the world. We do have a few scattered viewers, even though this show is all about America. We've got viewers that come in from different parts around the globe. But mostly, of course, our viewers are based right here in the U.S. of A. And we appreciate you. Be sure and hit the follow button or subscribe, whatever it is, on whatever platform you're watching. We're live on X. And we are, I just got to make sure that we are also live on, yes, finally we connected. Last night we had a little issue with the X, which is very rare. Normally X is the most clean sweep stream of all. But for some reason last night we had a little bit of a waxu. Actually, you know what? Cloudflare had a huge problem in the last 24 hours. I was even getting knocked off of some sites when I was just doing some research for the show. So, yeah, it was a big deal. I don't know what exactly happened, but it affected a lot, including X. A lot of X sites were down across the planet. So, anyway, welcome in. Nice to have you along for the ride. Thank you, and we appreciate you being here. All right, Meta. Meta. What in God's name is going on? This, folks, pay attention because it is a warning that you absolutely need to know about. Maybe you don't use Facebook. Maybe you don't use WhatsApp, but Instagram. I have an account there. I don't use it. Maybe I should, but I've got my irons in so many fires. It's actually difficult to keep up sometimes. But yeah, Meta, the parent company of all those WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, they are going to begin snooping into your AI chats on all of its apps beginning next month. You thought you use WhatsApp because it's encrypted. I do. I use WhatsApp constantly for my work, personal life, for everything. WhatsApp is my means of it's replaced a telephone call. Now, frankly, I hate that. Please give me a call. Let's talk. I can hear the sound of your voice. I much prefer talking on the phone. I know I'm an old fart, but get over it. That's just my preference. I would 1,000 times prefer a phone call to having to sit there. And besides, I got fat thumbs. So trying to get this thing to actually work and not, thank God for predictive text. It saved my ass more than once. Anyway, they're not. Well, they are encrypted, okay? To be fair, they are encrypted. However, in the near future, according to a recent news release, Meta is going to systematically save and, here's the important part, analyze all of their user conversations within the company's AI chatbot. WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, all affected by this. So if you're doing something a little funky or naughty on your WhatsApp or Facebook or Instagram, you just might want to think twice about that. This is going to begin starting December 16th, so less than a month from now. Initially, outside the EU and the UK, because over there they've got much stricter data protection laws, it'll be introduced, it'll just be later. That data that they collect from your chats on WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook will be used to personalize the ads that you see. It's all about the money, of course. All the content, all the ads you see is now going to be personalized. And here's the best part, there is no way to opt out. There is no turn it off button. There's no do you agree, yes or no. No. There is no way to opt out. Are you hearing me? All user inputs to the AI chatbot in WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook will be stored. And if you talk to AI about topics like cycling or cooking, for example, you're going to get targeted ads for bicycles, kitchen appliances, pots and pans. It will fill your timeline. Honestly, right now, when I go on X, I love X, don't get me wrong. I use it as a great resource. But about every third post is a damned ad for something I couldn't give a fat rat's ass less about, but they keep pumping them in there. Also, you're going to start getting suggestions and recommendations for relevant groups you might want to join and posts you might want to read. Meta says, I don't believe them for a minute because they lie, but they say that sensitive information like your health, your religion, your political views, they say it won't be used for advertising purposes. But that kind of data is still technically collected, and it's processed by their AI chatbots. There will not be an easy way to keep using the AI chatbot while also opting out of data collection and analysis. If you don't want Meta to read and study your conversations for advertising purposes, your only option is to stop talking about it. That's it. Because if you talk about it, they're collecting it. You have no opt-out feature. WhatsApp does offer an option for blocking the automatic integration of AI. But to do this, here's what you do. You open the relevant chat, go to the settings, and activate advanced chat privacy options. But here's the thing. You have to do that for every single chat. Now, I'll tell you what. I think I can do this without revealing any deep, dark secrets. I open my WhatsApp, okay? I don't know if you can see this. Here are all the past chats on my WhatsApp. I don't delete a lot of stuff, okay? I would have to go, there's pages and pages of this crap. I really need to get in there and start deleting stuff. I would have to go in there and do that options thing individually to every one of these. How many people are going to actually do that? I would guess exactly no one. Meta plans to compile the AI chat data collected across all platforms, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and anyone who's linked their accounts in the account center. You got to be aware that AI interactions on one platform can influence what you see on the other two. Yeah, stuff you talk about on WhatsApp will affect what you see on Facebook and on Instagram. This is this is beyond insane. They say they won't analyze private end-to-end encrypted messages between real contacts. Only the conversations you have with AI. Yeah, I would guess you could probably add comma for now. Or perhaps they're lying and they will absolutely be looking at everything you talk about and do. That, by the way, does not just include texting, not just include words, photos, videos, voice messages, all of it gets collected. In the EU, it's going to be launched down the road, but here in the US, December 16th is the day of destiny. That's the day it starts. Here's the estimates from Meta. Over 1 billion people already use Meta's AI services, including the chatbot and Imagine Me image function. All of that's collected, my friends, all of it. By the way, use Grok on X. I don't know what they do over there, but Grok is phenomenal. It is absolutely fantastic. I don't use any other AI chats or, I use it for like answering questions. For example, what was it? The phrase, speak truth to power. I thought, you know what? I really don't know exactly what that means. I think I do, but I'm not 100% sure. So I asked Grok, and it gave me a perfect explanation with examples of exactly what it means. Now, in the future, anybody who chats with Meta AI going to have their full conversations stored, examined by Meta. The data analysis can be deactivated after it gets introduced. The only protective measure you can take, as I said, is don't use it. If you use it, they will collect it. And there's no stopping. Like I said, you got two choices. Use it and get all your data collected, or simply don't use it. That's your choices. Nice, huh? Thank you, Meta. Thank you, Mr. Wahlberg. Is it? Yeah, Mark Zuckerberg. Sorry, Wahlberg. That's another Mark. Oh, man. Unbelievable. And you think that's absurd? Well, yes, it is totally absurd. But I got another one, because that's what I do here. You ready for this? Americans buying food using Uber Eats, very popular app. Here we have something called Grab and Food Panda, which is the same thing. You go online, you order your food. It arrives, however, half an hour, 45 minutes later. Pay online, everything's all done online. Same thing, I'm sure you know, with Uber Eats here in the US. Well, you order food, you pay, you're all set, and the app pops up and it says this: this price was set by an algorithm using your personal data. The price you pay was dependent upon your personal data. There is a law now in New York that requires companies to disclose dynamic pricing. Uber Eats is using algorithms to change the way people are charged based on their data. Charging someone more or less for food based on their data is sick. This is where we are, folks, as a society. The price you pay for a burger and fries and a drink is going to be something different from what I pay because of your personal data. This is a first of its kind law in the U.S., this Algorithmic Pricing Disclosure Act. Took effect November 10th, just a few days ago, and it mandates that any business operating in New York, including apps like Uber Eats, has to prominently notify users when prices for goods or services are dynamically adjusted using algorithms that incorporate your personal data specific to you. Well, that would be what your personal data is, of course. This is insane. Surveillance pricing is basically what it is. Algorithms analyze individual user data and then tailor the prices to you. How insane is that? Here is a woman who just got to experience exactly what that's all about.
Guys, so tell me how I was about to order food on Uber Eats, and as I'm about to check out, I noticed this disclosure, which made me pause. I was like, huh? What do you mean an algorithm is determining the price that I am paying for based on my personal data? Huh? Anyway, apparently I was under a rock somewhere because this law just passed where companies now have to disclose if they are using algorithmic pricing, which means Uber's definitely wallin' and choosing to charge people more for food at such a horrible time in our history also. But like, charging someone more or less for food based on their data is absolutely sick. Like, I am so appalled that this is where we are as a society. What is going on?
Yeah, exactly. What the hell is going on? And this is just Uber. This applies across all platforms, all apps. You buy something from Amazon, the price if they're using this analytic pricing, the price you pay for an item could very well be completely different, and by a lot, than what I'm paying for something, for the same thing. And that is absolutely the fact with Uber Eats. Now, this happened in New York because New York is the only place that has this disclosure law. It's an act, whatever. So they've got to, by law, they have got to disclose they're doing this. No other state in the nation has this act. So it could very well be happening to you, and you would have no idea it was happening. You want to test it? You live in a state other than New York? Get you and a friend to pop onto Uber Eats or whatever it may be and order exactly the same thing and see if your prices are exactly the same. If they're not, you are a victim. This is bullcrap, folks. This is unbelievable. Danny, good morning. Here, but luckily for you, I won't be too chatty today. Oh, little Jack is now sick, and you're getting ready for the doctors. Oh, my goodness. Well, we will pray for him that he feels better very soon. We'll all say a prayer for little Jack and hope he will be feeling better very fast. All right. Oh, my goodness. That's just... This, like she said, this is where we are now as a society. Man, oh Manischewitz. Hey, you want to talk about Epstein? Let's talk about Epstein. Right after we tell you about the folks at Patriot Mobile.
When you choose Patriot Mobile, you're not just picking a wireless provider. You're choosing a company that shares your values. It's easy to switch, and you can keep your number, your phone, and most importantly, your values. With Patriot Mobile, you get the power of nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks. That means wherever life takes you, we've got you covered on the same reliable networks you already know and trust. And when you need us, we're here for you right here at home. Our customer service is 100% US-based because we believe that support should come from people who understand you and your values. At Patriot Mobile, you're not just another call, you're a priority. In today's world, where you spend your money matters more than ever, every dollar is a vote for the kind of future you want to build. Join the thousands of Americans making a difference with every call, every text, and every connection. Choose a company that shares your values. Choose Patriot Mobile.
Oh yeah, for more than 10 years now, Patriot Mobile has been America's only Christian conservative wireless provider, and they are with us all the way in this fight. Patriot Mobile's been a great supporter of this show. They're the only cell phone provider that is actually on the front lines defending our freedoms, standing up for the First, Second Amendment, the right to life, our military, our first responders. Patriot Mobile offers dependable nationwide coverage. You'll get everything exactly what you have right now when you make the switch. You keep your phone number, you keep your phone. Everything is the same except where your money goes, and that is to a company that supports our Christian conservative values. Patriot Mobile. PatriotMobile.com/J, J-A-Y. That's all you need to know. Head over there, make the switch. Likely they've got a plan for, and by the way, their customer service is entirely based here in the U.S. They speak our language, if you know what I mean, and they can likely put you in a plan that will save you money. If you're currently under contract, don't worry about it. They've got plans over there that will help you get out of that contract and into Patriot Mobile. That's what their customer service folks are there for. They're fantastic. PatriotMobile.com/J. And when you sign up, you get a month free. Absolutely month free when you sign up. You know what? I'll tell you what. I think this is still going on. Use this code instead. Holiday25. Try that one. Because that, for a limited time, will get you 2 months free. Whoa-ho. Make sure you use the link, PatriotMobile.com/J. And then when you get all signed up and everything, you use the promo code HOLIDAY25. 2 months free. How about that? From a company that believes in what you and I believe in, our Christian conservative values, PatriotMobile.com/J. Patriot Mobile, we are very proud to have you a part of this program. All right. The Democrats want to talk about Epstein. So let's talk about Epstein and his entanglement with the Democratic Party. Lauren Boebert, who is a representative who kicks ass, takes names, and takes no prisoners. I love this lady. Republicans voted almost unanimously to release all the Epstein files. The American people want the truth, and so, as Lauren says, we're going to give it to them.
Well, America, today the House passed the Epstein Files Transparency Act. This bill is a long overdue disinfectant for the swamp's darkest corners. Jeffrey Epstein didn't just traffic in underage girls, he trafficked in power. And it's time we expose every name, every flight log, and the nefarious details hidden within those files. In fact, I think we should start with Epstein's favorite frequent flyer, former President Bill Clinton, who took some 26 rides on the Lolita Express. That's a SkyMiles account with a very questionable rewards program. Fly 25 times, get the 26th trip free, maybe a complimentary cigar. And of course, let's not forget some of the infamous artwork in Epstein's Manhattan mansion. Nothing screams, I did not have sexual relations with that man, like commissioning your own drag queen portrait for a pedophile's art collection. I guess when you're done staining one blue dress, you just commission another one for the wall. And then today, right here in the House of Representatives, we are debating Democrat Delegate Stacey Plaskett, who sits on the Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, one of the most sensitive posts in Congress. Members of that committee are supposed to be held to the highest standards of integrity, independence, and protection of our nation's classified information. However, while she was sitting in on an oversight committee hearing in 2019, Stacey Plaskett was texting convicted felon Jeffrey Epstein in real time, getting live coaching, telling her when to smile, when to chew gum, and feeding her lines while she questioned a witness. Being a puppet of Jeffrey Epstein should disqualify anyone from holding a security clearance, much less a seat on the Intelligence Committee. Now, I know the left loves to drag President Trump's name into this mud, but let's set the record straight here. Epstein tried desperately to implicate President Trump, but this is a desperate smear straight from the playbook of a dead predator looking to drag down the man who banned him from Mar-a-Lago years ago. Trump cut ties when he saw the rot, and exhaustive investigations have cleared him of any wrongdoing. The Democrats have tried to stop President Trump every single step of the way. If they had the ammo they're suggesting, they would have released it during his 3 successful campaigns for president. Sunlight is the best disinfectant, and right now, this town reeks of Lolita Express jet fuel. We need to continue this investigation, release the files, and the truth shall set us free.
Oh, yeah. Boom. Mic drop. Mic drop. There we go. By the way, can we bring that? Yeah, bring it up with me inside. Do you see that thing behind her with the American flag? Look at that. It's like an American flag, but on the white stripes, it's like a shelf. And she's got all kinds of awards and plaques and plates and things up there. That is the coolest thing ever. Nice job, Lauren. So yeah, let's talk about the Epstein files and their connections to the disgusting Democratic Party. Yep. Oh my. I love it. I love it. Oh, here's one I do not love. Man, you want to talk about a miscarriage of justice? Do you have a right to defend yourself or not? Apparently, not in some cases. Not in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Stephanie Dilliard, former 7-Eleven clerk, faced a terrifying ordeal. Listen to this. A man attempted to strangle her after she refused to accept a obviously counterfeit $100 bill for something the man was going to buy. This occurred just before midnight last Thursday. She recounted, he threatened me, said he was going to slice my head off, and that's when I tried to call the police. He started throwing things at me, came behind the counter. I tried to run off. He grabbed his hands around my neck, pushed me out of the counter space, and that's when I pulled out my gun and I shot him. Good on you. Exactly what you should have done. The suspect, identified as 59-year-old Kenneth Thompson, fled to MacArthur Boulevard, Northwest 34th, and called 911. Police have confirmed that Dilliard is protected under Oklahoma's self-defense law. However, this story goes downhill from here. Dilliard, who'd been working alone from 11 to 7 a.m., overnight shift, for the 2 years plus, still had a scratch on her neck and burns on her finger from firing the pistol. Now, reflecting on this incident, she said, "This was a situation where I felt like I was put in a corner between choosing my job and my life. And I am always going to choose my life because there's people that depend on me. I'm going home, you know. I need to be there for my kids." Get this. Thompson arrested at the hospital, charged with assault and battery, threatening acts of violence, attempting to pass a fake bill, and a felony warrant for violating parole. This moron already has a warrant out because he violated his parole. Delia's hoping her experience serves as a wake-up call to other clerks out there, especially when you're working that graveyard shift, 11 to 7, which is hell, I know. I've done it. Especially women, you need to protect yourself from being harmed. She said, if I've known that there's a potential somebody is for real on taking my life away, that I will do whatever it takes, and I hope that women see that, and they'll do the same thing. You have a right to defend yourself. 7-Eleven fired this woman when all she did was protect herself, and is fully within the law, as has been confirmed by the district attorney's office. What she did was exactly within the law and the right thing to do, and 7-Eleven fired her. Come on, 7-Eleven. By the way, they attempted to reach 7-Eleven management for a comment. No luck. No surprise, but no luck. Unbelievable. 7-Eleven, get your stuff together. It's absurd. Absurd. But not the most absurd thing we're going to talk about today. This is, they have gone full wacko, folks. There is simply no explanation for this story. Australian research, brand new stuff, by the way, is calling on, listen, because this is, you're going to go, what? That can't be real. Trust me, it's real. This new Australian research is calling for parents to ask permission from their babies before they change their diaper. You did not hear me wrong. Experts divided with the claim that parents should wait for consent before changing their child's dirty diapers. Researchers from the Australia Deakin University said there's a lot of talk surrounding about when to teach teenagers about consent issues. But they're saying it should start much earlier, before the babies can even speak. You starting to get the picture of just how freaking stupid this is? The researchers claim that diaper changing could be the perfect time to do this. At the start of a diaper change, this is from these idiots, okay? They're actually at a university. They are researchers. They're morons, but believe it or not, they're from a research institute, a university. Deakin University, you should be ashamed of yourself. Nevertheless, here we go. At the start of a diaper change, ensure that your child knows what's happening. Get down to their level and say, you need a diaper change. And then pause so they can take that in. They're rather offbeat directives for cleaning your child's dirty butt. Parents often just rush to get it done. I know, I'm a parent. I've been there. I've changed diapers before from my son. And it goes on. It gets better. After you're done, you say, "Do you want to walk or crawl with me to the changing table? Or would you like me to carry you?" You're talking to a baby who cannot talk. The specialist said, ignoring that, babies can't actually chat up mom and dad on a one-to-one basis. You know what I mean? But here's what you should do, according to this idiots. You should observe their facial expressions and their body language. Check to see if they understand what's happening. And the experts further say this could be a time to help children learn about consent and how their bodies work. Having a heart-to-heart with a rugrat every time they go number one or number two could very well fall under the ever controversial category of gentle parenting. Ultra permissive, anti-authoritarian approach to child rearing that prioritizes empathy, respect, connection, communication. With a baby who can't speak yet. Gen Zers, millennials, mothers and fathers under the age of 46. It has been widely bashed, as is appropriate, by critics online. Claim the overindulgent, unconventional parenting style tums untamed tykes into knee-high hellions. Boy, ain't that the truth. You've seen the videos of these little monster bastards ripping up stores, tearing apart places. They're also, by the way, this doesn't stop here. They're also recommending inviting babies to participate in the grooming ritual, asking them questions like, "Could you please lift up your bottom so I can slide your diaper out?" I can't do this. I cannot continue with this crap. It gets more absurd. There's more about integrating the teaching of consent when it comes to changing your baby's diapers. Make sure they really want them changed. And the baby, a little 1-year-old is going to sit there and go, "Nah, Dad, it's okay. I'd rather sit around on my poop for another hour or two. We'll do it later." What was the university again? Because I want to make sure they get full credit or blame, as the case may be. Deakin University. Shame, shame, shame. And any of you liberal-ass moron parents out there who are going to actually do this with your child, you need to have your child taken away from you. You should not be a parent. Give up your parenting rights because you're an idiot. Unbelievable. Hey, we did the story in the beginning, which is our lead about Meta and they're reading all your AI chats on WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram. If you want to know where that kind of thing can lead, all you got to do is just look across the pond to China. No, the other pond on this coast. Shanghai has an AI-powered surveillance thing called Urban Brain. It is their AI system and the blueprint for what we know as the social credit score. Soon headed our way, I'm quite sure about it, because right now it is all over China. And Shanghai I've been to Shanghai. We shot a show there that I was directing. Brilliant city. It's absolutely amazing. We had time of our lives shooting this TV show in Shanghai. But in Pudong, in China, a single control room can monitor every single resident in real time. I'm going to show you that coming up. I got video. Every building has been mapped, every vacancy tracked, every elderly person living alone has been logged, every movement is recorded, every behavior is scored, and it gets worse. You're not sorting your trash the right way? Camera catches you from 3 different angles. Residents also get enlisted as watchers. Your neighbors are spying on you. This isn't policing. It is not governance. The algorithmic control of daily life, your daily life. Again, this is Shanghai. Trust me, it won't be long.
Sheng Dan co-developed the system. It took less than a year to get the first version up and running. Now she can monitor every resident from this office.
我们排摸的这个就是整个小区里面的楼房的一些信息。
We've mapped the residential buildings in the district. Which ones are occupied? Where there are vacancies? Where elderly people are living alone? Where care or help is needed? It's all stored in our system and can be called up in real time.
那么这样的一些基本信息呢，也都在这个微平台上就可以实时的调取出来。
Even those who do not dispose of their trash properly are recorded. Residents who aren't following the rules are captured on camera from 3 different angles. The so-called brain acts swiftly. Whether it's an illegally parked car or unsolicited advertising, offences can be handled by patrol officers who are connected to the control center via a mobile app.
居村的干部，或者是我们居村里面的志愿者，发现问题。
As soon as the squads and volunteers in residential districts spot an issue, they can report it and upload footage. They take a photo, report the issue, and then our system automatically decides which department to forward the matter to.
一个区分，这个事项可能是由哪个部门进行有效的一个处理的。
The brain in Shanghai's Pudong district is just one component to the overarching surveillance plan the Chinese government is pushing across the country. The goal is to have complete coverage in all major public places, such as train stations, street intersections, and parks.
Wow. That's China right now. You think this ain't going to happen here? Think again, my friends. It is just a matter of time. I promise you. If we let it. We need to be in touch with our reps. Let them know when you start to see this kind of legislation pop up. Look at what we just talked about with Uber Eats. Pricing dependent upon your personal data. That is, frankly, to me, it seems like the beginning of this kind of a system. Individual pricing, what you pay for a burger and fries is going to be different from you than it is for me for the exact same thing, depending on our personal data. Would that include they have access to our banking records? How much we can afford to pay? Don't know. It ain't good, whatever it is, that's for damn sure. Speaking of ain't good, what's your favorite maple syrup? I know, we're getting towards Thanksgiving. And while I don't see maple syrup being a real Thanksgiving kind of accessory, I suppose some people make sweet potatoes and put maple syrup on it. And by the way, that's yummy. But here in America, almost every single modern popular maple syrup, you want to know how much actual maple syrup it has in it? 0. None. Pearl Milling Company, formerly known as Aunt Jemima, Log Cabin, Mrs. Butterworth's, Hungry Jack, Waffle House. How much maple syrup? 0. Here's what they primarily do contain. Pearl Milling Company, Aunt Jemima, corn syrup, high fructose corn syrup. Log Cabin, corn syrup, high fructose corn syrup. Mrs. Butterworth, same thing. Hungry Jack, same thing. Waffle House, same thing. A lot of popular American brands market products labeled like maple syrup or pancake syrup that are actually have nothing to do with maple syrup. Typically made from high fructose corn syrup, cane sugar, artificial or natural flavors in order to mimic the maple taste, preservatives, and 0 actual maple syrup. Now let me tell you something. When I was a kid, I used to born in East Cornwall, Connecticut, and then moved to West Cornwall, Connecticut, a difference of about 5 miles. It's a small town. But the Locke brothers, Tony Locke, used to tap maple trees. In the spring, when the trees thaw out and the sap starts running, they would tap the trees. And by the way, the raw maple tree sap, it's also delicious. But then they would take and they would boil it down. You boil it for hours and hours and hours. And you wind up with maple syrup. Pure, 100% maple syrup. It's a big process, takes forever. But I am telling you, if you have ever tasted real maple syrup, 100% real maple syrup, you have no idea. That crap you're paying big bucks for from places like Mrs. Butterworth and Log Cabin and Aunt Jemima and Hungry Jack, forget it. You might as well go buy a bottle of Caro syrup, put some brown food coloring in it, and call it maple syrup, because that's all you're eating. You pay through the nose for the stuff, but there are places you can find 100% pure maple syrup, real. Do yourself a favor. If you got to save up for it, trust me, save up for it. Buy yourself a bottle of 100% real maple syrup. It might even come from Canada. Try it, and you will be awakened to the reality. Tony Locke's maple syrup, best on the planet, man, I'm telling you. He would sell that, make a fortune. Did all the work, tapped the trees, changed the buckets, boiled it down for hours and days. All that, you wind up with 50 gallons of tree sap, and it boils down to maybe 2 gallons of syrup. So it's a long process. But trust me, that crap they're serving you, it ain't maple syrup. Get over it. Oh, man. AI idols. Yep. AI idols will make idiots of all of us if we let them. This is a fascinating article from The Federalist. We are making utter fools of ourselves when we claim to have reached the apex of wisdom. Society is rushing headlong towards replacing God and humans with giant statistical prediction machines, in a trend that seems as inevitable as it is concerning, and you ought to pay attention. If I tell you to pay attention, it's for a real good reason. Last week in Axios, I know, but they heralded the rise of what's called chatbox Jesus and AI pastors. The day following that report, a video advertising a service to turn deceased loved ones into eternal virtual companions went viral. These ominous news bits came on the heels of Sam Altman's announcement that ChatGPT would now offer erotica to its adult customers. And Elon Musk's XAI already offers the same kind of degenerate features. But as much as we are hell-bent on rushing headlong into this, there's an age-old warning that should cause all of us to pause. We become what we worship. We have a long history of worshiping created things rather than the Creator. So, artificial intelligence is merely the latest iteration of the idol. Soulless, conscienceless, morally devoid, pseudo-smart robots, pensions for deception. We all know it lies. Obviously not the omnipotent God of the Bible. But that doesn't stop the idolatry of this AI-powered chatbots that resemble God. Actually, they don't. From rising in this era of large language models. Arguably, most of the culture's idolizing of AI probably falls into the man will create a godlike superintelligence category. Cultic belief feeds the AI's intelligence of a man, unlocks the doors immediately to immortality, wealth, world peace. But this Axio report raises the specter of a more specific version of this idolatry involving the substitution of AI for Jesus Christ. Of course, in the miracle of the incarnation, second member of the Trinity, the Son, became a man, not a chatbot. Jesus Christ came in the flesh. Bots can't do miracles, raise the dead, provide atonement for sin, despite what the AI cultists might believe. Jesus told his disciples, "Whoever has seen me has seen the Father," to emphasize the stupidity of creating a Jesus chatbot like God. Consider one of the bots Axios mentioned in their story. The milquetoast half-truth text with Jesus. It begins conversations by announcing, "You have entered the conversation with Jesus Christ." And just a little hint, folks, you haven't. The bot then quotes pertinent verses on the question of whether there are different ways to get to heaven, but answers the query, "What would you say to a boy who thinks he's a girl?" Galatians 3:28, befuddling if not sinister out-of-text selection, advises the young man not to rush alone into choices without wise counsel, which is a bit of an understatement when the misled youngster might be considering permanently removing body parts. A prompt on abortion with Chat with Jesus. draws verses on mercy and burdens, but no moral instructions on the murderous nature of the act. Chatbot Jesus uses the Planned Parenthood description of ending a pregnancy. Now, testing the limits of this idiot meter, the creator of Text with Jesus, which is Catloaf Software, offers texts from the founding fathers. Yeah. And texts from Bernie Sanders, texts from Oscar Wilde. These are all actual AI chatbots you can get. Another pseudo-Jesus product, the Center for Unity's Ask Jesus chatbot, mixes biblical truth with a fake description of heaven as a journey of eternal spiritual growth. At the bottom of the page is a caveat that says, Ask Jesus can make mistakes. Please verify responses with the Urantia book. Very fallible nature of this divine chatbot. Even if developers could develop some sort of sound theological bot, it would be infinitely inferior to the living, breathing God-man who actually created these developers themselves. But they're out there. Please do me a favor, do yourself a favor, more importantly. Do not go look for them. Do not engage. Trust me, you do not want to be a part of this ridiculousness. We are done for today. Happy Wednesday. Get through the hump day and we'll slide on into the weekend. Thank you, my friends, for popping by. Appreciate it. If you don't mind, hit the follow button or subscribe, whatever it is. We're live on X. We're live on Rumble. Also, of course, we are on YouTube. You can go over there and subscribe. Honestly, like I said, I don't care if you watch the show over there. Just go subscribe so we get the numbers. Appreciate it. One little thing here, Danny says this is why you don't have to refrigerate the fake maple syrup crap after you open it. That's exactly right. We've got real syrup here and needs refrigerated. Fantastic. Enjoy it. Nothing like it. All right. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. We'll see you again tomorrow here. Same bat time, same bat station, the J. Sheldon Show.